The future of matriarch? Will we even have? Stay tuned. Accessory. What's going on? Anyways, thank you guys. As we continue our National Women's Day month, today's topic we are doing the Spirit of Ascension in detail, and then we will wrap up our matriarch points for the week. Definitely let me know if I missed anything. Any of your personal stories that you wanna share, definitely don't forget to put them in the comments. I love reading the comments. I love talking. Maybe that's why I have a whole channel. I love talking, but don't forget to show my shorts channel some lovey love. She's loving it over there. Thank you guys so much. So we're gonna go and we're gonna be talking about our first topic is favoritism. You know how many times that people will sit there and say, "Oh, I don't have a favorite child." They're lying. We're talking about favoritism. So in this same aspect, with the Spirit of Dissension, they use favoritism as a tool. So what they use this as a tool in this aspect, thank you so much, is that they will purposely, I call it rationing out affection. So, okay, you do something I like, oh my goodness, my baby, It's like I don't like silent treatment, or they'll purposely make sure they go to this person and don't think the second generation saved. I've just noticed just from me watching, I've noticed that there's certain grandkids that get put. There's certain grandkids that get supported more. There's certain grandkids that get supported more. There's also certain kids that are allowed to do things even from discipline. There's certain kids that's like, oh, that's just so and so that's wild, and compared to if it's somebody they don't like, then all of a sudden it's a big problem everything they do. And I do feel like with favoritism, just from how we're wired, even from birth, we want to win the affection of our loved ones. Okay, we want to win their affection. We want to win their affection, but we want to be able to have their favor. We want their attention as well. We are attention based. Think about it when kids, especially when kids are under 2, they'll start doing random things just to get your attention off the baby. Just without us even being fully psychologically cognizant of what we're doing. We're still at our base without attention, like you want attention at your base. And I feel like, especially with the matriarch, she's been here for a very long time. Not know though they're old, but like they've been in this position of manipulation for a very long time. So they know exactly how to mold, yield, and withhold, and all these things of attention in order to get what they want and get the response they want. So definitely this is one of their favorite tools is favoritism, and you can definitely see it easily. So the next one is the gatekeeper. So gatekeeper, sometimes the matriarch will double as a gatekeeper. So you ever notice, I'm about to get in trouble, so I'm gonna make sure I say it clearly. You ever notice that there's certain sides of the family that are always financially well off? You ever notice that? You ever notice that there's certain sides of the family that are married and financially well off? Financially well off. There's a reason for that. When you sit there, especially with our demographic, my particular demographic, Black, we didn't come from money. So any money that we do have is pretty new. Any money that we do have is pretty new. But if you have come from a cycle of not having any money and someone's coming in, they're trying to introduce it into the bloodline, this gatekeeper is gonna fight you each time. Gatekeepers hate to see me coming, and it's not even with money. Like, people will gatekeep you. These gatekeepers will try to close the gate of love. Like, there's been plenty of times where I've been at a cookout and I see a little kid getting picked on, which I don't. Maybe that was my job in heaven before, to protect kids. Because when it comes to kids, I'm ready to come to blows. But there was a kid and they're being picked on by an adult, which to me, when I think about it, like, this is really pathetic when I say it out loud. But they're being picked on by an adult, not teased, like full on picked on by an adult. And I was like, well, I think you look beautiful. Look at that smile. Look at that hair. This and other. I'm pissing that gatekeeper off because of the fact that now this person can't go on and be mean to the next person because you poured love. The best way to be kind to a person is to not act as them. Do not act as a mirror to them. You need to pour love on this person. I know it's hard, because I'm the queen of who you think you're talking to, but I need for y'all to understand that that's the only way to do it. There's so many times where people are adamant about saying, oh well, I don't really care about what I say to this person. They're gonna grow up, they're gonna forget it. I was like, I still remember the first time an adult picked on me, and I'm 34. So they're gonna remember. Okay? And I don't know if they'll have as warm of a heart as mine to forgive you. So watch out for that in 20 years. But I just feel like you need to understand that when this gatekeeper comes, they're here to make sure you do not progress the bloodline. Financial, yes, but mostly emotionally as well. So if you come in, you're financially stable, you're not yelling, you're not being aggressive towards them, you're already introducing femininity into a masculine bloodline for the women. So you're already stopping that. They don't like that. The next point is, why can't these matriarchs retire? I know why. Thanks, teacher, for asking me. The reason why they can't retire, because a lot of them feel as though the repayment for the years of cooking and all these things is the control. And my thing is, from the moment you are born, you're aging. And that's not to scare you, but you need to be comfortable with the circle of life. I know I'm quoting Lion King. I know that. But you need to be comfortable. You need to be comfortable with the circle of life in the aspect of you need to understand, you need to be comfortable with the circle of life in the aspect that there is going to be someone behind you. Like, I already know right now my replacement is being born. Does that make any sense? As in, not for my life, but I'm talking about there's going to be somebody else, which I hope I inspire others to be and create another channel similar to mine, and I know that, and I respect that, and I understand it, but when these people, like, they're like 80 years old, like I remember I heard a story last year around Thanksgiving, and they're like, yeah, my 80-year-old mom, my 80-year-old grandma, or 80-year-old mom, Bob, 80-year-old great grand or grandma, she doesn't want to give up the food, but we don't know the recipes. She's gatekeeping them to herself. And I really want to learn how to cook, but she doesn't want to let us know anything. And I'm just like, this is the problem. Because if you're never taught the recipe, how are you supposed to cook? How are you supposed to cook this meal? And then my thing too is that with them not wanting to retire, I feel like a lot of them, that's all they have. Either their man has passed away, or they never had a man to begin with. And this is the only thing they have, is this role as matriarch. That's why the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law will always be, as I hope, I'm not speaking that into existence, but I really hope it fixes. But that's exactly why this will always be an issue, because tale as old as time. You feel me? Like, it will always be a problem because of the fact that once you become the matriarch, who am I? A lot of these people had their kids young, like before they even turn 18, they're already a mom. They don't know who they are. They think they may know, but they have no idea who they truly are. Like, who are you at your essence? Who are you? So that's definitely a lot of pushback there, but that's the reason why they don't want to retire. And people say, I don't know why she complains about it the whole way. I was like, they know if they don't cook, they feel like they don't serve a purpose. Which, me personally, like, I don't need you to cook to serve a purpose. If anything, it's pissing me off, because now we're getting undercooked food, and then you complain about having to cook when you don't want anybody to help you. But I get it. You have to have that level of control, because psychologically, what else are you providing to the family in your mindset? And that's completely out of sorts. Like, we need y'all still here. So I feel like, due to the fact that people are having less children, I feel like the matriarchal, ate that word up. I feel like the role is going to dissipate over time. There's something, and it wasn't supposed to be, I'm taking a bait to speak, because like, it wasn't supposed to be like that. Besides the fact that, there's not as many things that women will ignore. Because back in the day, a lot of us were born because our parents wanted to ignore the red flag, because they wanted kids. All right, they want to ignore everything. But we are having less kids. Millennials and Gen Z. I know y'all see it on the internet. I know y'all see a post here and there, but we are having less kids than our predecessor. Because I feel like it's more so the frequency. Y'all see, okay, well, I saw 3 or 4 announcements. I know, but these people are only having 1 or 2 kids and they're done with that. Back in the day, it was 10 to 30 announcements, and everybody's having a minimum of 4. Back in the day, I remember we used to have sibling games. We're like, how many siblings you got? We got 5. I have 6. Dang. Like, we used to battle. Like, and I think about it, as kids, that was toxic. But we used to battle. We're like, you only got 4 siblings? Boring. Like, we used to make fun of people who had small, like, we're kids, okay? We used to make fun of people who had, like, who didn't have a lot of siblings. We're like, wait, you're not a house of 7? What are y'all doing over there? Meanwhile, now it's the reverse. Now it's like, dang, you got more than 2 kids? Dang. Like it's like, dang. Now, but I truly feel like with us having 1 or 2 kids now, 2 at the most. So some people, they literally have 1 and literally it's done. Like they're like, I experienced that thing. Thank you. You know, but it's really cool how you can see the change. You can see the change in like what people esteem as appropriate number of kids to have compared to now. Like, not cool as in judging, but like, it's crazy how as the times that we are having less kids, if not any. But I truly feel like with more people having 2 or less kids or no kids at all, I truly feel like the role of matriarch is not going to make any sense, because you're not about to tell somebody who's used to running their household with no kids what to do because you have kids, you know? So I feel like in that same aspect, you need to understand that I don't know what the future holds, because with less kids, with less kids around, you don't really need to be a matriarch. I mean, dogs count as well, but I'm gonna say, like, you don't need to be a matriarch when there's less kids. I'm not gonna be cooking for a family of 20. I'll be cooking for like 10 people now. So even that level, like even the matriarchal role is gonna start diminishing over time because there's not as many kids that are around. So this is my final thing, is that like, I don't know if y'all know this about millennials and Gen Z. Gen X, y'all half and half, but I don't know if y'all know this about millennials and Gen Z. We're standing on business, okay? Baby boomers and Gen X stood on toxic. We're standing on business. I feel like the matriarchal role will be diminished probably. I'm not trying to speak on anything. I see by the year 2040, if not 2050, like the matriarchal role will be done, because of the fact that when you sit there and you disrespect something, we don't be like, family is family. No, it's just like, all right, well, this is my last time seeing y'all. And they stand on it. Like, they literally had that. I think I talked about it on a previous episode where Oprah was speaking about people who were going no contact. And the one dude took me out. He was so chill when he said it. She's like, you haven't talked to your family in 7 years? Not a word. I was like, dang, not even good morning. But I feel him on that, because my thing is that there's a lot of things that have taken place, and I'm just like, oh, this is not gonna fly. You better fix this, or we're gonna have to love you from a distance, from another state probably, you know. And my thing is, I understand you're supposed to be able to put things aside for family, but sometimes family treat you the worst because they manipulate at the core. You're supposed to be loyal to your family. So just like, I can just talk to you any type of way. I've never been more disrespected. I've had more disrespect from family than I've ever had from somebody on the street. And people have called me the N-word before. I've never had the level of disrespect from, like, it's not even comparable. Family will disrespect you. If it wasn't for forgiveness, I don't know where I'd be at. They will disrespect you because they know you're not going to go anywhere. Millennials and Gen Z said, bet, you don't got to go anywhere. I'm leaving. Okay, so I feel like with being that matriarchal role, I do feel like it's not going to be here anymore. I do. I see it in our future, because of the fact that it's not going to be like, hey, I miss going to grandma's house. Well, grandma just told me that grandma told me that my eggs are old because I only had one of you. So no, we're not going to go to grandma's house this Thanksgiving. Now eat your potatoes, my love. Eat your potatoes. That's going to be the future. You're not going to be able to get away with being disrespectful to people. That's why I said, like, I stand by when I say, to me, how your kids communicate you, frequency, and how they speak to you is a report card for how you spoke to them and spoke live or took in life from them when they were younger. That is 100% your report card. So you need to think about the last time your Gen Z or millennial kid has spoke. Gen Z, I know the youngest one is 15, but you need to think about when was the last time they spoke to you just out of the blue, and really see how well you're doing in your report card. But stay tuned next week. We are going to be tackling, you'll have to see.